Let's go ahead and talk about the functions of money. And money plays a very important role for you and I for our everyday transactions, even though we don't think about it all too often. So what are the three functions of money? We have medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. Medium of exchange tells us that goods and services are exchanged for money. This just tells us that money is going to help simplify our transactions by a lot. So imagine a world where we actually didn't have any money at all. We would have to go back to the barter system. And the barter system is where we exchange goods and services for other goods and services. And this requires a double coincidence of wants. So you have to have something that I want, and I have to have something that you want. And matching up people's goods, needs, and wants, goods and services this way is actually very, very difficult to do. So here we are very thankful that we have money to act as a medium of exchange, because all we really need to do is say, hey, here's some money, give me that good or service, and we're good to go. We take our money, get the good or service that we want, the other person gets our money, and bam, the transaction is done. So here, medium of exchange basically simplifies our transactions. We don't have to go back to the barter system, which is only going to be used in primitive economies. Number two, unit of account. Money is used to compare the values of a wide variety of goods and services. So once again, this is just going to go ahead and say that we can actually attach some type of value to every single good and service that we have within our marketplace or within the economy. We don't have to go ahead and say, hey, this one computer is exactly worth half a TV, or this one refrigerator is exactly worth, say, maybe one washing machine. If we didn't have any money, that's exactly what we would have to do. We would have to compare the value of goods and services to other goods and services, and the more of these items that we have within the economy, the more difficult it is to place values on every single good and service. If we have money, we can basically say, hey, this one computer is worth $1,000. This one 70-inch television is worth $1,500. So with all of this, we know exactly what the value of every single good and service is going to be within the marketplace. And then finally here, number three, store of value. Money is saved and used for future purchases. So basically, money is going to retain its value fairly well, and we don't necessarily need to spend our money right away. If we want to go ahead and save it, put it under our mattress, put it into the bank, we know exactly that, yes, we have this money, it's still there, and it's going to retain at least some of its value after accounting for inflation over time. So here, this store of value is just saying that money is saved and used for future purchases. We don't need to spend the money right away. We can hold on to it, and we'll still have that money later on. So these are the three functions of money. And we're going to be very, very thankful that we do have money within our economy, because it's helped simplify our transactions and makes our lives a little bit easier. So to tie all this together, let's go ahead and take a look at a video example using The Simpsons, and you guys go ahead and think about what of these functions of money are going to be served with Homer here.
Finally a little quiet time to read some of my old favorites. Honey roasted peanuts. Ingredients: salt, artificial honey roasting agents, pressed peanut sweepings.
Homer, I have to go out to pick up something for dinner.
Steak?
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Sure, steak.
The last peanut, overflowing with the oil and salt of its departed brothers. Uh-oh, something's wrong. Ow, pointy! Ew, slimy. Uh-oh, moving! Uh-huh! Aw, $20. I wanted a peanut. $20 can buy many peanuts. Explain how. Money can be exchanged for goods and services. Woohoo! Hey, go up!
So once again, Homer here is an idiot, back when The Simpsons was actually really, really good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the functions of money once again. So The Simpsons has gone downhill in quality, but the older episodes still hold a lot of value. So what functions of money can we see here with Homer? With the $20. Well, we can probably see all three of these right here. So $20, it can be used as a medium of exchange. You can exchange $20 for a whole bunch of peanuts. It is a unit of account. We can value exactly all the peanuts that Homer can buy with his $20. And it is also a store of value. Homer found $20 in the backseat of his sofa. So here, it has retained its value decently well. He didn't need to spend that $20 right away, but now he's going to sort of enjoy peanuts. Hitting on point number 3 just a little bit more, we want to go ahead and see a few of our different ways to store our wealth and hit on a characteristic of money that no other financial asset is going to have for us. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few different ways to store our wealth. So ways to store our wealth. So there are a lot of different ways to store our wealth, and the most common one, of course, is going to be cash money. So here we take a look at cash money. Cash money. So here, this is the most typical way that you and I hold cash. We can put it under our sofa mattress, or we can put it under just our bed mattress, or in a bank. But this is the most typical way to store our wealth. But we do realize that holding cash money probably isn't going to generate a lot of return, so there are different ways for us to hold our wealth. So what are a few of the other ways? We can say maybe why not some type of stocks? Why not some type of bonds? So these are two very typical financial assets where you can go ahead and store for a portion of your wealth. If you want to get a little bit more creative, you can go ahead and say why not some type of commodities? Why not gold/silver? Maybe jewelry. Why not some type of cryptocurrency? So say Bitcoin. This can also be used as some type of money as well. So cryptocurrency can be used for exchanging goods and services for a payment of debt. Yes, cryptocurrency can be seen as some type of money. If you wanted to go ahead and say, why not put in some type of paintings, properties. Maybe if you like watches, maybe put it into some type of Rolex. So there are a lot of different ways to hold your wealth through these examples that you can see right here. So cash money, stocks, bonds, commodities, jewelry, cryptocurrencies, paintings, properties, houses, Rolexes. But there's one feature of cash money that there's a property or characteristic of cash money that is going to be held only under this asset compared to all the other assets that you see right here. So what does cash money hold over any of these other assets that we have right here? What is the main characteristic that we see? And we're going to notice that cash money is the most liquid. Or has the most liquidity out of any of these assets that we see right here. And liquidity just tells us exactly how fast can something be sort of transformed into cash money and be used for transactions. So how quickly, easily, and reliably an asset can be converted into cash. So liquidity just refers to how quickly, how reliably, and how easily, an asset can be converted into cash. An asset can be converted into cash. So with this, cash money is already cash, so we can use it for transactions right away to buy goods and services. So it is seen as the most liquid type of asset that we have today. Stocks and bonds, gold and silver, jewelry, these are going to be a little bit less liquid because it does require some time and some type of effort to actually convert it into cash. You need to sell your stocks, you need to sell your bonds, you need to go to a pawn shop in order to sell your gold or silver, your jewelry as well. And there are going to be even less liquid types of assets such as paintings, properties, and Rolexes where you actually have the most amount of time, the most amount of effort to actually get them into some type of cash money. So here, because cash money is seen as the most liquid types of money, this is exactly the sort of main aspect or the main characteristic that it's going to hold over any other type of financial asset, which is why a lot of people like to hold cash money as some type of wealth, even though it doesn't generate a lot of return or a lot of interest. So with all of this, we've already covered our 3 functions of money. We said that medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value, and then we hit on the idea of liquidity just a little bit more. So we talked about the barter system, which requires a double coincidence of wants. It's only used in primitive economies. And the idea of liquidity, hitting on point number 3 just a little bit more. It's an asset's liquidity is determined by how fast, easily, and reliably it can be converted into cash. Money is the most liquid type of asset because it can be used immediately for the purchase of goods and services, while other assets such as stocks, bonds, and precious metals are less liquid because they must be converted to money before it can be spent. And the least liquid types of assets are going to be more tangible assets. So houses, physical assets, yachts. These are the least liquid because they require the most effort, the most time to convert into money. So it's going to take you a few weeks, a few months to actually convert your house into some type of money for you to use it in some type of transactions. With this idea of liquidity, we can actually go ahead and see how the Federal Reserve is going to divide up our money supply with M1 and M2. And we'll go ahead and take a look at those different categories in our next section.